Hello, and welcome to the Carbon Copy Podcast Running Out of Time special. I'm Isabel Sparrow, and today I'm going to be sharing stories and conversations from some of the lead organisations involved with the relay, as well as hearing from some of the team on the ground as the event kicked off yesterday. Carbon Copy is the official pod for the relay, and throughout the next 4 weeks we'll be sharing amazing stories from this extraordinary people-powered event. So if you like what you hear, subscribe to the pod and share with everyone you know. Running Out of Time is in its third year now and is going from strength to strength, not least because of the amazing partner organisations that help to raise awareness of the event and recruit runners, wheelers, cyclists and more to get involved. One such organisation is the Green Runners, and a few weeks ago I had a chat with co-founder David Starley to learn more.
I am a co-founder of the Green Runners. I'm also a pretty keen runner myself. I've done a few ultramarathons, and in my day job I work for a very large engineering services company as the climate lead across the whole company as well. So in the Green Runners core team, we have environmentalists who are runners, and we have runners who are also environmentalists, and I probably put myself more in the environmentalist that's a runner camp. The Green Runners formed out of COP26 and frustration at the lack of progress internationally from politicians and world leaders, and a group of runners got together and said, well, what can we do about it? And that included some quite well-known runners like Jasmine Paris and Damian Hall and Dan Lawson, as well as others like myself, who are not quite so known, but were really keen to support and do something within the running industry. So we formed the Green Runners, and we said, well, we want to do stuff within running because running has its own impacts. There's lots of kit, fast fashion, there's lots of travel, and of course, lots of eating stuff because we need to fuel our adventures too. And all of those have environmental impacts. And so there are things we can do as individuals to improve those, but also running as a industry can do much better. And so we can use our collective voice to change that and to push for wider systems change, which is required. And of course, we can mobilize the running community to speak out with a greater voice and change the system more broadly, not just within running as well. So that's how it all formed together. And since we launched on Earth Day in 2022, we've now got over 1,000 members globally, and we are a registered CIC nonprofit in the UK and a key partner to the relay. We try to strike the balance between individual and collective action. So everyone that joins us as a member, so we have a membership, which is a nominal amount per year to help us keep our running costs. And everyone that joins has to make a pledge. So the pledge is aligned to one of our 4 pillars. So it's how we travel, how we fuel ourselves, how we kit up, and also how we speak out. And so the day-to-day week is getting new members in, seeing what their pledges are, and then hopefully sharing lots of those pledges with the community. And equally, on the speaking out side, we run regular campaigns that we get everyone involved with and ask for the whole membership to support. It's just a great community of people who are non-judgmental, and everyone's, wanting to do something, but also we recognize that it's not worth chasing perfection, and we're all imperfect activists at the end of the day as well. So last year I took about a week and a half off work to join the relay for 8 days. So I ended up joining from Bristol to London, basically. I didn't run every single stage, but I did end up running about 260 kilometers in 8 days. But every day was just amazing because I got to meet new people all the time. And it's like you're just meeting more people coming and joining the relay, and then sharing a few miles with those people and hearing their stories and why they're taking part, what it means to them. And then also along the way, we stopped at these little community groups and actions going on there, and they would share what they're doing. And it really felt like there was this big groundswell of people that actually care, because it's so easy to just think that nothing's happening. But actually, if you do get there on the ground, there's so much going on. For me, it was a really nice thing to see, and it really gave me that sort of inspiration that oh, actually, there's a lot of people that are doing something about this and really do care. It's just a sign that this is something that everyone wants to do something about. We just need to give people the opportunity to take part. And that's kind of what I love about the relay, is it's just such an easy way in, and using sport as this platform for change.
Thanks so much to David for sharing his thoughts. We completely agree, the relay really does generate a sense of togetherness and hope in such a special way. If you're interested in finding out more about the Green Runners or about any of the other organisations mentioned in this episode, do check out the show notes. Carbon Copy is about inspiring more collective action for climate and nature, and our next guest is from an organisation that is doing this in a way that benefits people and planet.
So my name's Ivo, I'm the founder and CEO of GoodGym. We're a community of people who get fit by doing good. We combine our exercise with helping community projects and older people, and we aim to increase green space and biodiversity in cities. GoodGym's been going since 2009. It started because I wasn't doing any exercise. I used to play basketball, but I had stopped exercising and thought there was surely something more useful I could do with my exercise than go to the gym. So I started running to deliver the newspaper to an older neighbour, a guy called Terry, who was housebound, and that got me into running, and it also made me feel more connected to where I live in Bethnal Green. And over the years we started doing other projects. We started helping community projects of all different kinds: schools, playgrounds, parks, anything that was a bit of manual labour that was for the good of the public. We started to do it as if it was a workout. So we'd run and shift a load of wood chip, and now people cycle and help with allotments. We will help with playgrounds, anything that is manual labour for the good of the public. We sort of approach it as if it's a workout. And slowly over the years we've started doing it in cities all over the UK. It's been really exciting to see how people have just taken hold of this idea and really built it into their lives. We really want it to be easy to participate in, and really fun. So it's a great way to just start doing something positive that helps your local environment. The climate crisis is huge. We know we can't do everything, but we can do something. Our goals are to help increase and maintain green space in cities, and also to increase biodiversity. If our cities are going to be sustainable, and now over half of us globally live in cities, we need them to be green. We need as much green space as possible to help keep them cool and to sequester carbon. And we also need to make them positive habitats for as many different creatures as possible. So that's what we're aiming to do. We are doing thousands of projects that are helping to increase green space. That might be parks, but it might also be small unused green spaces or places that aren't yet green that we can help to plant, maintain, increase. What I think is important about that is it is also involving people. It's enable you to do something positive. It won't solve everything, but it will help make your city a little bit greener. It will help make it a place that more species can exist. Imagine if all of us are doing that little thing. If that space that you've spotted that you think, oh, that's a bit of land that's not being used. If we can all start to do that little bit of work, then we can make our cities greener. We can make them much richer habitats for biodiversity. And long term, thousands and thousands of us making those small, regular actions to help maintain them will mean our cities are that bit more sustainable. So GoodGym operates in about 60 different cities and boroughs across England and also in Cardiff. We are always aiming to invite new people to get involved, and also looking to work with people to set it up where you live. So if we don't work where you live and you'd like to help make it happen, we'd love to hear from you. The way that it works is generally you will go to the website, look for sessions near you, and then you can just come along. We'll ask you to do a little bit of training just so that you're aware of the safety processes, and then you can just come along and have a go. Everything that we do is free. It's a great way to meet new people. It's a great way to find out about new projects where you are. We try to approach everything as a positive, fun experience. So you'll probably learn some new things, you'll meet some interesting people and have a really fun time as well. So we're going to be involved in a leg of the relay on the 20th of June. We will be running from Parliament Hill to St Andrew's Youth Centre, which is one of the oldest youth centres in the country, and helping them with a project. And then we'll be running across to the South Bank to help with their roof garden. I think it's incredibly important to support the relay, because anything we can do to raise awareness of the climate crisis, and also to do that through active travel, through running, cycling, walking, which are all fantastic, sustainable alternatives to fossil fuel powered transport, is a cause that we care passionately about.
What an incredibly inspiring story that just shows how taking action together can be a truly joyful experience as well as a meaningful one. We'll be speaking to one more of the lead relay partners in just a moment, but first I think it's high time we heard from some of the people on the ground at the relay itself. The Running Out of Time relay support crew is made up of Harry Hughes, Rohan Date and Rashid McDonough. Here's Harry talking to his teammates yesterday afternoon, having just completed a leg of the relay.
Hey, so it's Harry from the relay crew here, and I'm with Roisin and Rohan. They've just finished about a 6k run just around Luscombe. So yeah, how was it?
It was good, except for the minor detours, but we managed to get there just about in time to get the baton on to the next stage.
Yeah, cool.
Beautiful run.
What was your favourite part of the run?
Oh, it was really beautiful, the whole run, just pure nature, lots of trees, and yeah, beautiful. But yeah, a little detour, so we did a little bit longer than we should have, but we got there in the end.
And obviously you're both part of the crew, so you know about what running out of time is. But, what sort of motivated you to be part of it? What's really important for you about climate change?
I think it's about bringing people together, and even though the title Running Out of Time can be quite bleak, also remembering that if we all come together, there's hope and we can start to make a difference.
And the same question to you, Roisin. Why are you doing this? What's really important to you?
Well, I absolutely love nature and love being a part of it, and I don't want to see the biodiversity disappear any more than we're seeing. So just trying to do everything we can to keep this planet we call home as nice as we can.
Great, thank you.
And we'll be hearing more from the relay crew throughout this special podcast series. The baton started its journey yesterday morning at Luscombe High School, where the crew gave an inspiring assembly to students on the reason behind the event. The school is very engaged with climate issues, much like a lot of people in this part of Scotland seem to be. I chatted about this with Mary Toldoff of the Highlands and Islands Climate Hub and Emma Walters of Luscombe Environmental Group.
I'm Vary. I am the Development Officer for the Highlands and Islands Climate Hub, and we support community-led climate action. So my job is a great job. Basically, any kind of community group or initiative in Luscombe who wants to do something or is doing something around climate action, I get to support them with anything from giving advice to funding to, whatever is really helpful.
My name's Emma, and I run a project called the Fort William Bike Shed. And we do anything we can to help people overcome barriers to cycling. So whether it's financial barriers or learning barriers or anything really. Luscombe Environmental Group has a few projects, and our project is all to do with travel options, making lifestyle changes that are more sustainable.
I think rural Highland communities are incredibly proactive in terms of sort of climate action. And I think from my experience anyway, I think a lot of that comes from more rural areas like where we are. People are kind of used to doing things for themselves. And I think there's that kind of inbuilt sort of community spirit perhaps in smaller communities. Also, quite a lot of places in Luscombe are quite conscious of depopulation and the need to be proactive in making sure that, a lot of the climate action actually comes from the need to be really proactive to kind of maintain our communities. And I also think there is something about a lot of people here do live closer to the weather, like we're more impacted by it. We feel it, the snowstorms happen, like the scary storms over the winter happen. And I think being closer to the weather, closer to nature, I think inevitably you then kind of are more aware of perhaps some of the challenges that we're seeing, and also kind of what we can do to overcome them.
I think what Barry was saying about communities is quite important. And they don't necessarily think they're engaging in climate action. They are just naturally drawn towards being resilient because they have to, and they've always had to. We helped to put the project in touch with some of the local primary schools so they could run climate assemblies to involve the kids just in that initial phase. And the actual launch location at Luscombe High School, which is our local high school in the town. But also we showcased a few of our more fun bikes just on the first leg from Londonborough Primary School to the centre up the Glen to set them off on their more wild leg. The next leg after that looked a bit harder to cycle.
As I mentioned, there's just such a hive of activity. So we have quite a few community-owned renewable schemes. We've got Carol Ann, who runs the fantastic Kilmally Community Fridge Project, who's looking at setting one up in Fort William as well. We've got so many organisations that are sort of embedded in the community, whether they're development trusts or organisations like Loch Harbour Hope, who are looking at integrating kind of climate action into their work as well. So, for example, last week I went along to a kind of foraging activity in the plantation, which was free and, a way to engage people with the incredible kind of natural environment that's on our doorstep, and was accessible for people who wouldn't otherwise be able to necessarily pay for that kind of activity. There's so many.
So, to finish this episode, I wanted to share a chat from a few days ago that I had with another of the Relay's lead partner organisations, Vegan Runners UK. I spoke with their Southwest Regional Representative, Damian Luscombe, about the benefits of a plant-based diet for health and environment.
I'm Damian Luscombe. I'm Southwest Regional Rep for Vegan Runners UK. Vegan Runners UK is a UK-wide club with over 3,500 members. We're a club that kind of arranges running events and social events for vegans all over the UK in a kind of supportive and inclusive atmosphere for everybody.
So one thing that a lot of people think is that if you're going to do a lot of exercise, you need to eat a lot of meat because there's this idea that you can't get the nutrients you need from a vegan diet. I'm guessing that's a myth, but what's your response to that?
With Vegan Runners, the proof of the pudding is really in the eating, and we've got 3,500 members and none of them have protein deficiency. We have people winning events on a regular basis. Just did the Bristol half marathon where we had around 200 members taking part. And the winner of the Bristol half marathon was a vegan runner. He won the half marathon by over 3 minutes.
So this podcast is all about sharing stories to move and inspire our listeners, and I wondered if you wanted to share a story of action for climate or nature that's really inspired you recently.
We've all got our own individual stories and individual things we have to overcome to be more kind of climate friendly. For me, it's making commitment to go flight free, so never to fly again unless I absolutely have to. And there's a website called flightfree.co.uk. Which supports people in that journey towards giving up flying. You can have just as much of a great adventure getting the train down to Paris or Bruges or the Netherlands as we can flying anywhere. So I'll be catching the train up to Scotland, and also to shout about it as well. Every time we do something like that, just shout about it and hope that other people follow your example, or your friends and family and connections. Hopefully they'll think that's a great idea too, and we can just kind of spread the positivity.
I think that's a perfect message to end on for this first Carbon Copy podcast running out of time special episode. So often we find ourselves dragged down by the feeling that change is too hard, but what this relay and all these amazing people and organisations are showing is that more is possible when we take action together. With that in mind, I would love you to join me for the next 18 episodes. So once again, do subscribe if you'd like to hear more. Thanks to all my guests in this episode and to the team behind the relay for all their hard work connecting us with everyone. The Carbon Copy podcast is presented by me, Isabel Sparrow, and our producer and editor is Bradley Ingham. Additional material in this episode recorded by Yasmin Redfern. Thanks so much for listening. Until next time.